The Upkeep is brought to you by you. You can support the show by heading to patreon.com/glhfmagic and becoming a member for any dollar amount. Thanks.
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of The Upkeep.
That's right, a show with all of the magic news you can use or choose not to.
10 minutes or less every single week. I'm one of your hosts, Edward R. Mulligan.
That's right, and I'm one of your hosts, Ban Rather.
And the first item is late breaking news, at least as time of recording of this episode of The Upkeep, changes to Arena and their duplicate protection.
That's right. So the updates come as people have been talking about a lot of different things, like where did the vault go? And is there still a vault? And why can't I see it? And what's happening with all of those rank drafts in best of 1 or best of 3? Well, we've got a lot of answers now.
All right, so before you pulled more than 4 rares or mythic rares, it just added to your vault progress. Now we're going to change things around in a few different ways in Arena. The first way is if you open a pack and you open if you would open a 4th or a 5th copy of a rare or mythic rare, instead we're going to change it automatically in Arena, not us personally, I guess, but Arena is going to change it into a rare mythic rare, the same rarity of something you don't have 4 copies of in that set.
That's right. So say you crack open a booster of guilds and you get an Aurelia and you're like, I already have 4 Aurelia. It's going to be like, never mind. You get a different mythic from the same set.
Yeah, so I like that.
Aurelia is just a rare, isn't she?
That's pretty cool.
My bad.
Is she?
Wow.
What rarity is Aurelia? I think she's a mythic. Anyway, she's great. But yeah, that's one way it's going to implement. And say you have everything. You've got the full set.
You have every rare in the set. Then you're going to get 20 gems for a rare or 40 gems for a mythic.
Yeah, that's a pretty sweet deal. I'm into it. I accept. And then let's talk about limited. So if you're drafting or you're playing sealed, it works a little bit differently.
Yes.
So if you would draft a card and you're like, wait, but I already have 4 of these cards, is it going to switch it automatically and draft to another rare? No. You're still going to play your draft or your sealed event normally, but then after the draft, it's going to convert. So
yes, it will become gems.
It'll become gems
at that point
into your account.
Wow, fancy.
Very fancy. And then the final way that this is going to change your life in the minor way that it might, is the individual card rewards for the set. So if you would get a reward of a card that pops up after you finish an event, it's not going to switch it to a different rare or mythic rare. It's automatically going to give you gems, same as the limited stuff.
Very nice. So now you know there's no more mystical vault hidden somewhere in space that's collecting all of the cards that you already have 4 copies of and eventually transferring them into wild cards. It's all right here on the face. Either they'll get swapped out for something of the same rarity, or they'll get gems, just depending on the scenario.
And there's been a lot of talk about best of 1 or best of 3 as ranked formats on Arena. Right now, this current season, best of 1 is the only way to rank up, either in constructed or in draft.
That's right, but best of 3 ranked constructed is coming.
Yay!
So not draft yet, but best of 3 constructed will be on its way.
So on the 31st, which is the start of the new season, meaning you will have gotten your previous season rewards, we're going to switch over and you're going to offer best of 3 constructed, which I'm super excited about. Some other changes they say is coming too, but this is major for me. I
am so excited. However, for people who are wondering, is best of 1 still going to be a thing? Absolutely. There's been a ton of talk of it still going on online.
Yeah.
A lot of players, for the most part, being like, we don't like best of 1, stop doing it. And then a lot of WotC people being like, best of 1 is sticking around. Specifically with some replies, like this one from Sam Stoddard, many of the split cards in MTG R and A were developed with best of 1 in mind.
Interesting.
Many of them let you include niche cards in your deck for the metagame that have a slightly below rate card, so they are rarely dead.
Yeah, so you can cast either side, and you know, maybe one is for meta call and one is one you would always just cast anyway.
So if R&D is thinking about it, it's not going away.
Yeah, it's definitely on their radar, and they have been, as this confirms, designing cards specifically for best of 1, or at least to be used in best of 1.
That's right. Also, best of 1 is coming to stores near you, possibly in the future. This letter went out to some stores recently. Want to be among the first to try out a new format? We're inviting a small number of top performing stores to play test a new way to draft. Quick drafts modeled after Magic the Gathering Arena. Arena.
Arena.
Players love this format on Arena, and we're hoping they'll love it just as much in your store. Quick run drafts can be a part of your FNM events in February, and they are single game instead of best 2 of 3. Rounds are 20 minutes.
Wow.
And there will be 5 or 6 rounds of it, and players get a free mulligan each game. So it's not going away. There will, in fact, potentially be more of it in the future.
I'm very interested by this. I want to find out how people react to actually playing in one of these. Like, it's going to go super fast. And then are you going to be like, all right, let's run it back, quick draft again, or what?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
I don't know how I would feel about going to a store and doing this.
I mean, because I want it to be worth it for me to leave my house.
Exactly.
So you better chain at least a couple of these back to back for us specifically.
Yes.
Up next on our news.
Yes, we know the name of the next set, which is War of the Spark, coming in April 2019.
Ooh, the code is going to be MTG War, which I think is pretty fun.
That's right. And it is not part of a block, for instance, it is not part of this Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance block.
No.
It is its own block, but it is still set on Ravnica.
Interesting.
Yes.
I don't know if they've done something like this previously. It seems a little different.
Yes, it certainly does. And they told us that this would be a little bit different way back when they announced that we were going to Ravnica again quite a while ago. So I want to know who's at war. What planeswalkers will fall on what sides? Who will win? Will Bolas just destroy everything and that'll be the end?
I want to know if sparks are dying. What if they're like, sorry, no more sparks?
Oh my goodness, they're extinguishing planeswalkers. Like,
They
what if Nicol
wouldn't.
Bolas? But what if Bolas is trying to extinguish planeswalker sparks?
Oh,
from
that's
individual
what he's doing. I
planeswalkers?
bet you $1 million. Okay, there we go. We figured it out, everybody.
I'm very excited. Or they're controlling they're fighting to control the ability to ignite sparks in others.
That's cool.
Like, what if someone's found out a way that you can ignite a spark?
Then
in someone
Bolas is
else?
basically just like Ultra God.
Yes, exactly. If he wasn't already too powerful, then he really would be. We've also, up next, we've got those Ravnica Allegiance events coming up. The pre-release is this weekend.
I'm so excited. Super stoked.
As am I. And on the 17th, Ravnica Allegiance Sealed is coming to Arena.
Nice. So you can play it before you head to your pre-release in store and kind of get a leg up on the competition that way.
That's right. It's going to be 2,000 gems, and you play to 7 wins or 3 losses. And if you prefer draft is coming to Arena on the 18th.
Awesome!
Very cool.
And if that's too long for you to wait, guess what? On the 16th, it's a special streamer event where a bunch of people are going to get access to all of the cards in the set and stream it all day long, us included. Check us out on twitch.tv/GLHF Magic if you want to see us play before anybody else has a chance to.
That's right. Up next, we've got the results of Grand Prix Prague, part of Magic Fest Prague. It was Ultimate Masters Limited.
Yes, Pascal Vieren, a pro that you might be familiar with, won the whole entire thing, and he had some really spicy decks, including one that included 3 copies of Spider Spawning.
Yes, and in his little winner's photo here, you can also see him holding a Kozilek.
Oh, sweet.
Which is very sick.
Yeah, lots of really cool stuff happened at the Grand Prix this past weekend. So check it out if you didn't get a chance to watch it live, because Ultimate Masters, really room for some spicy stuff there.
Yeah, you can always watch the replays on twitch.tv/magic if you want to catch those and see some of those very cool decks that were drafted this weekend.
Okay, what else do we have for news you can use? Well, the return of Challenger decks.
Yes. Challenger decks were a new product this past year, and they included some of the best performing decks in Standard. They weren't perfect 60-card copies, but they were very close to some of the most winning strategies, and they also included a 15-card sideboard.
Nice.
For the low cost of $60, these were stuff that you could unpackage and take straight into your FNM and still do reasonably well with.
Yeah, these decks were a huge hit last year, so I'm really excited to see what they come out with this year. Really great stepping stone for anybody who wants to get into Standard. So big thumbs up that those are coming back this April.
My guess is that we're going to probably have a version of Golgari midrange. I imagine that we'll see potentially both an Izzet Drakes and a Jeskai Control, or only one or the other of those.
Yeah.
Probably a Celestia Tokens.
Ooh, nice.
And perhaps a Boros Aggro. Those are my guesses.
Okay.
Just based on the most popular decks right now.
All right, and then just got a kind of final for fun news item is a little bit of insight from R&D. At the pre-release this past weekend, Gavin Verhey from R&D was playing in it at Loading Ready Run's headquarters, and he played with sleeves that said fire on them, which apparently is an acronym for R&D's motto this year. It stands for fun, inviting, replayability, and exciting, which makes sense.
Yes.
That that's some goals for R&D.
It is not, as Adam Savidan guessed, F it, reprint everything.
Yeah, sadly not. Sadly, it's just about fun. Who cares? Anyway, so that's all the news from this week in Magic. If you want to check us out, we've got another sister podcast, Good Luck High Five, and that's a long form podcast that we do every single week. And you can find all of our stuff on goodluckhighfive.com.
Good luck, high five.